Case number 3, smiling depression, the perfect crime, because the victim and the perpetrator are the same person, and they're both hiding behind a smile.
On the outside, they're the life of the party, the high achiever, the one who has it all together. But on the inside, the lights are off, and nobody is home. It's a performance that would win an Oscar. They never miss a deadline. They never forget a birthday. They are the strongest person you know, and that's the first clue. Every smile has a cost. Every social interaction is a withdrawal from a bank account that's already in the red. By the time they get home, there's nothing left but the silence. The lock is their only friend. Once the door is shut, the mask comes off. And then the gravity hits. A weight so heavy it feels like the floor is made of magnets. They call it high functioning. I call it high-speed collision. You keep moving so fast that the sadness can't catch you. But the sadness doesn't need to run. It just waits at the finish line. Look at him. He's the soul of the room. Telling jokes, making connections. If you asked anyone there, they'd say he's the happiest man on earth. But look at his eyes. When they look in the mirror, they don't see themselves. They see the product, the version of them that everyone else likes. The real them, that person disappeared a long time ago. They run on fumes and caffeine, forcing the dopamine, artificial light for a soul that's in the dark. It works until it doesn't. Their whole life is a checklist. Accomplishments are shields. If I do enough, if I'm proud enough, maybe the void won't notice me. It's a bribe. But the void doesn't take bribes. Everyone expects them to be the strong one, the rock, the anchor, but what happens when the anchor starts to rust? You can't ask for help, because anchors don't need help, anchors just sink. Success doesn't balance the scales. You can win every prize in the world, and that one heavy secret will still pull you down. It's an impossible math. Night is when the truth gets loud, when the applause stops, when the only audience left is the one you're most afraid of, yourself. The world loses its flavor. The things that used to bring joy now just bring nothing. A gray fog that tastes like iron. But you still have to keep painting that red smile on the mask. You're always on stage. Even when you're alone, you're performing for the person you think you should be. It's a theater with no exits, and the show must go on.
They describe it as a weight, a gravity that pulls on your bones. You're walking through a world made of lead while everyone else seems to be floating.
There's a gap, a few millimeters between who they are and who they show. That's where the depression lives, in the shadows where no one thinks to look. Maintaining the lie takes everything. It's a full-time job with no breaks. By the time the world stops looking, they are completely bankrupt. The loudest scream is the one that stays inside. They're shouting for help with every breath, but their mouth is busy telling a joke. They're held together by sheer force of habit. One wrong move, one honest question, and the whole structure could collapse. But they've become experts at staying still. They are masters of invisibility. You could spend 10 years with them and never know you were talking to a ghost. They've perfected the art of being there without actually being there. It's not sadness, not always. Sometimes it's just nothing, a cold, flat numbness that tastes like copper. The world has color, but you've lost the ability to see it. Success is the perfect hiding place. If you're winning, no one asks if you're okay. They assume the trophies are proof of happiness. But trophies are just hollow gold. The truth only comes out when the lights are off. In the small hours of the morning when the world is asleep and the mask is charging for the next day. Now we go deeper. Beyond the mask, into the mechanics of the crime. Let's look at why the brain chooses to hide. The mask doesn't just hide the face, it protects the lie. And every time they put it on, the needles bite a little deeper. It's a self-inflicted wound that never heals. Why? Why are we so afraid to be seen? Why is the truth more terrifying than the performance? To find the answer, we have to look at the blueprints of the soul. Social media is the ultimate accomplice. 1,000 filters for 1,000 lives. We've turned happiness into a currency, and if you're not rich, you hide. We curate our pain. We only show the parts that look good in a frame. But the most important parts of us, they don't fit in a frame. They don't even have a color. The most exhausting word in the English language is fine. It's a shield, a wall, a lie that we tell a dozen times a day. And every time we say it, the wall gets a little thicker. We perform for an audience that doesn't exist. We seek validation from people who aren't even watching. It's a comedy with no laughs, and a tragedy with no tears. The brain is thirsty. It's searching for a drop of genuine connection, but all it finds is the dry sand of engagement. You're starving in the middle of a feast. The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. It knows when you're vulnerable. It knows exactly what mask to sell you. You're being investigated by a machine that doesn't have a heart.
Isolation is a double-edged sword. It's the only place where you can take the mask off, but it's also the place where the shadows are the strongest. You're safe, but you're also trapped.
The brain's functional switch is jammed. You can't turn it off. You're forced to keep going, keep smiling, keep achieving, even when the engine is on fire. It's biological sabotage.
Stress isn't just a feeling. It's a chemical. A fog that coats your brain and slows your thoughts. Every smile you force adds another layer to the mist.
The prefrontal cortex, the part that plans, organizes, and performs, it's working overtime. It's become a prison warden, keeping the emotional brain locked in the basement.
This is anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. The map of your life is still there, but every destination is empty. You're traveling to places that no longer exist.
Sleep is where the mask is supposed to rest. But for you, sleep is just another case you can't solve. Your brain stays awake, auditing your failures, preparing the next day's performance.
The system is broken. No amount of likes or wins can fix the chemical imbalance. You're chasing a ghost with a broken net.
Every "how are you" feels like a weight. Every "you look great" is a brick in the wall. The pressure to stay perfect is what's actually crushing you.
Sometimes the brain just pulls the emergency brake. It shuts everything down to save what's left. This is the crash, and for the first time, you can't force the smile. The facade finally fails. The strong one is gone. And in the silence that follows, the real investigation begins.
You've spent so long avoiding the void that you forgot it's a part of you. You can't outrun your own shadow. You have to learn to talk to it.
Chapter 3. The path to the truth. We've looked at the crime, we've looked at the machinery, now let's look at the cure. It starts with a single, terrifying word.
We live in glass houses, beautiful, transparent, and completely fragile. We're terrified that one stone, one moment of honesty will shatter everything. But the shattering is where the air comes in. The first protocol, admission. You have to say it. Out loud, in the dark, to yourself. I am not okay. It's the only key that fits the lock. One by one, the masks have to go. The perfect employee, the strong parent, the happy friend. You need to see the face underneath, even if it's a face you don't recognize yet.
Honesty is heavy. It's much harder than the performance. But it's a different kind of weight. It's the weight of something real. And real things don't float away.
Help. The second protocol, vulnerability. You have to tell someone, one person, a friend, a doctor, a stranger. You have to let someone else see the cracks in the glass.
You'll be surprised at what happens when you stop being fine. Most people won't run away. They'll reach out. Because they're tired of being fine too.
The third protocol, grounding. Come back to the physical world. Touch the wood, feel the air, listen to the clock. You aren't a concept, you're a body, and your body is allowed to be tired.
Stop investigating your failures. Start investigating your needs. You wouldn't treat a wounded suspect this harshly. Why are you so cruel to the victim in the mirror? Rest isn't a reward for being perfect. It's a requirement for being alive. You don't have to earn the right to exist without a mask. Make peace with the void. It's not an enemy to be conquered. It's a part of you that's been ignored for too long. Listen to what it's trying to tell you. Forget the medals. Look for the small things. You got out of bed, you ate a meal, you told the truth. These are the real clues that the case is turning around.
The void isn't just a hole. It's soil. Things can grow there if you stop trying to pave it over with porcelain. It takes time, but life is patient.
You've cleaned up the crime scene, you've identified the culprit, and you've started the long process of rebuilding. It's not perfect anymore. It's just home. Being honest about your pain is the ultimate act of strength. It's the only way to break the cycle. The show is over. Reality has begun.
Final chapter. Case closure. We found the truth. Now, let's see what happens when the mask finally breaks for good.
Case closed. The suspect is no longer hiding. They're still in pain, maybe. But for the first time, it's their own pain, not a performance. And that makes all the difference. The world looks different when you aren't trying to impress it. It's bigger, messier, and infinitely more beautiful. You aren't the only one carrying a mask. We're all investigators in our own lives, and sometimes the best way to solve your own case is to help someone else solve theirs.
Healing isn't a single event. It's a daily investigation. You have to keep looking for the truth, even on the days when the mask feels easier. Choose the truth, every time.
There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Don't hide your scars. They're the evidence that you're still here. They're your badge of honor. The road is long, but you don't have to walk it perfectly. You just have to walk it honestly. And I'll be here if you ever need to reopen the file.
Stay sharp, stay real, and never stop looking for the truth beneath the surface.
Silent psychology. Investigating the things we don't talk about.
Join the agency. Subscribe to access the full case files. New investigations every week.
Follow the footprints. Find us on all platforms.
And remember, you're not the only one in the dark. We're all looking for the light together.
Next time we look at a different kind of mask. One that's made of mirrors. Thank you for watching. Until next time, investigator.
Silence.